And hey guys, we're live. We got Breakaway Ray with us, and with you. Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of the Typical Skeptic podcast. I'm really excited for my guest tonight. Tonight we have back with us Breakaway Ray, aka R. Snow, author of the book The Convoluted Autobiography, which I put a link you guys can get. And he started the Star Card podcast where he does readings and then he gets guests as well. And it's amazing. You guys should all subscribe. I put the link in the description. If you go to the description, you can find a link to Ray's book and the Star Card podcast. So you guys all should subscribe. And with all that said, Ray always comes on. He always brings fun and wit and humor, and he always does really good readings. So with all that said, I'd like to give him a big warm welcome back to the show. Ray, thanks so much for coming back on. How are you?
Rob, I'm doing great. Thank you so much for having me on your show again. You know, I love working on the holidays and spending time with you and your friends in the chat at the Typical Skeptic podcast. All of you people are so good to me. Thank you so much. So Rob tells me we're in no hurry tonight, and that's cool because I got some stuff I wanted to share before we got into the readings. But just in case, I know Rob's put it all in the description and everything. Let's see if I got this right here. So I got my email. You should get a screenshot if you want it. It's Star Card Podcast. It's only on YouTube right now, but I do have it reserved on Rumble, and I just got to upload the videos over there. And then there's the email address, which I'm very sure you can only find at the podcast, the podcast website, but also in the description tonight. If you want to contact me for a reading. And like I said, I still have a couple of free readings I have to give away. But let's see. So I wanted to compliment some of your guests. Wow, let's start complimenting you. You had an incredible month of an amazing guests. But I noticed, I think it was a couple of nights ago, you had Gene Decode, you had Laura Eisenhower, and then you had the Psychic Duck. Did I get that right? Was that
It was a busy day. I was really excited about that it all worked out. What happened was I was supposed to have Gene the next day, but then he wanted to do it that day, so I just did it because he's a big guest, you know what I mean? And if he wants to do it, so that's a tip for other podcasters out there. Like, if you have the time and you can do it, just do it if a guest wants to do it, because you want to get the views and you want to get that podcast. So if someone ever does that, I just say, just do it if you can. It was a tough day. It was, but I still did it, so and they all came out pretty good,
Oh, yeah. Yeah. And I just want to say, for 99% of the people who are trying to do the kind of thing that you're doing, you have those three guests. And that's a career right there. You could hang it up. You could walk away, drop the mic. You just had an awesome career. But that's just Tuesday about Khalil, right? You do that all the time. It's fantastic.
So we had Ola Woney today. Ola's amazing. She's more in the consciousness community or whatever you want to call it. But she's amazing. She's one of her old videos she did with me got 13,000 views on my old channel. She's no joke. I like her a lot. And Jason made a comment. I did those shows on Art Bell's birthday, so that was great.
Cool. Nice.
And I wanted to tell you something, Ray. So Kelly's in the chat, and look what she said. She said, Ray, your book just arrived in the mail yesterday. So she got your book, and that's awesome.
So I want to thank Kelly and everyone else who buys the book. And as a reminder, the best way to approach the book is to go zoom right to the epilogue. There's a chapter called The Epilogue with Psychic Liz Cross. And if you read the interview I had with Psychic Liz Cross, you pretty much get a good idea of what the whole book's about. Not to take away from much of my excellent writing in the rest of the book. Thank you very much, Kelly. She's also a subscriber at StarCard. And I know she follows me very carefully. Really appreciate it. I really appreciate fans. Now I know how you feel
awesome.
about it. Yeah. So thank you very much, Jason and Kelly, for participating. So I wanted to talk to you about Dawn and Spinja. I think I have their names right. You remember those two, right?
Yeah, they're good people. I did their wedding. Yeah, they're really good people. I consider them close friends.
So you did their wedding. All right. I didn't connect those dots there, but I remember watching the Dawn and Spinja show with you. And then Don said something that I thought was very, very wise. He said, if you hear that inner voice, and that inner voice is telling you can't do it. That's not your inner voice. Use discrepancy right there. I'm paraphrasing. He said it better than me. But the point is, your inner voice is never going to talk trash to you. So, if you hear that, it's not you. Sometimes people are wondering, is this my voice I'm hearing? Is someone putting this in my head? I think Don's got a good philosophy. Way to go, Don. Thanks for sharing that, by the way. We all got to share knowledge with each other because we're not getting in the schools, and I know that for a fact.
Yeah, I agree. 100%. 100%. Yeah. So, guys, we're doing readings tonight. So if anybody wants a reading, put your name in the chat and we'll get to you. And if you want to donate, I'll put the links to how to donate in the description. I'm still trying to get to the Full Disclosure Now conference. So, that would be, but it's going to be a fun night, regardless. Like, you're not obligated to donate at all. You can just get a reading, so it's like no pressure. And let's just have a fun night and do some readings. But how's your study of tarot been going, Ray? Are you still studying the cards every day, or how's that going?
Yeah, you betcha. It's accelerating, and it helps. Let's face it, in the internet age, I can watch on a social platform other people do tarot, and that's a fast way to learn. Another fast way to learn is when you have cards and they tell you right on the card what they're talking about. You don't have to look it up every time. And naturally, I have a lot of disposable time to experiment. So before we get into the personal readings, I had a couple of ideas for some of the kinds of readings I do at Star Card Podcast. If you're game, Rob.
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
Sure. So first of all, a long time ago, you and I were on. I think it was the October show, Glimpses of Off-World Life, and I talked about the Pepsi Cola company. And I didn't talk trash about Pepsi Cola, but I did mention that, they're probably a corporation that's working off planet. And I would say that that's not so hard a statement to make when you're on this podcast, but anyone hearing me outside this podcast would be, what are you talking about off planet? I don't know if you saw, by the way. Well, I'm getting sidetracked. Anyway, here's what I know about Pepsi Cola. They said that they had an off-world presence. And then I was watching some video scroll by, and they got on Pepsi again, and they're talking about Pepsi, and they said Pepsi bought some submarines and they sold it for scrap metal. And you had to think about that, because the one way to look at it is, they bought the submarines. They're $1 billion company, and they sold it for scrap metal. It has nothing to do with soda. So, what are they, just diversifying their portfolio, doing some kind of charitable scrap metal work? But then, anyone on this show would probably think differently about what to do with old submarines.
Old submarines?
Yeah. For example, Tony Rodriguez, when he was up there at Planet Series, he was working on a submarine that had been retrofitted to fly in space. So if it's true, So like if I heard in one place that Pepsi Cola really does have a presence off-world, and I hear in another place that Pepsi buys some submarines and then nobody sees those submarines anymore because they're sold for scrap metal, okay, it makes me think that they're really just, increasing their amount of spaceships up in space. I'm trying to think of the right word for a group of airplanes. Why I don't like writing or talking, when I'm not reading my own speeches. But anyway, so it sounded to me like Pepsi got a couple extra spaceships cheap, and they sent them off world. That's what, again, if you're wondering what I'm talking about, please pick up Series Colony Cavalier, the book by Tony Rodriguez. He explains all about this stuff. But what I wanted to do was, what I wanted to do was I wanted to take a look at the Pepsi Cola company, and then take a look at, through the tarot cards, were they in space, say in the 1940s? Are they in space now? And are they in space, or will they be in space in the future? Or a better way to look at it is, did we know that Pepsi was in space in general, like the mass consciousness, all the American citizens or the citizens of the United States and the world? Did we know back in the 40s that Pepsi was up there? Maybe they weren't up there. Maybe they were. We didn't know. It appears to me that most of us on the surface of planet Earth, we don't know that Pepsi's up there, and I'm pretty sure they are. And so I want to know, like in the future, are we going to know for sure that Pepsi and probably other corporations are up there in space? How far away are we from this connection from surface of planet Earth up to outer space that, you talk about on your show all the time? So I'm going to switch to the tarot cam, and I'll set up a little tarot board. Let's see what happens.
That sounds good.
Yeah. Okay, cool. This is the kind of thing I would do at my podcast. Maybe I will clip this and put it up there someday. All right, here we go. So we want to know about Pepsi. Right there. Let me slide this over here. All right, Pepsi. And then we want to know, let's say, did we know that they were in space in 1949? Did we know that they're in space now in 2025? And then what about in 2075? How much is Pepsi's off-world presence going to be known to the United States citizenry? And then also, just for fun, what about Coca-Cola? Let's see if they're all playing or anything. So I have given the cards a little bit of a shuffle, and now I'm going to do my routine where I'm going to shuffle the cards, and I'm going to pull some cards, and let's just see if a story comes out, right? Please show us what we need to see in a fun way. Please tell us what we need to hear in a fun way. What do we all know about Pepsi being off-world in 1949 to 2025, and then in the future in 2075? Please show us what we need to know. Please tell us what we need to hear. Well, I didn't see that card. I'm going to put it over here for Pepsi. And now, because that guy wanted to come out, whatever that card was, 1949, 2025, and then 2075. And now let's throw some cards for Coca-Cola. No Coke, Pepsi. All right. Let's just see how this comes out. Maybe there's a fun story here. Okay. So I got a card for Pepsi. It's the 5 of Wands and indicates conflict. For example, Pepsi doesn't want everyone to know what I'm telling everybody right now. This is like the first card I threw at Star Card. Well, it was Tarot with Breakaway Ray. The first card I threw was the 5 of Wands, which indicates that I'm creating a conflict. I'm being a pain. My grandmother would have said I'm being a scutch. Okay, and then I had the Hierophant.
Wow.
So the Hierophant represents learning, the upper educated part of society. Perhaps in 1949, maybe there were some people who knew that Pepsi was off-world. Oh. And then in 2025, how about the devil? How does that look this year, Pepsi? All right.
Wow.
That's when you can't let go of something. That's a nice picture for what we're doing. And then in the future, I'm anticipating something a little less rowdy. Hey, it's the Page of Pentacles. And the Page of Pentacles indicates like a new financial opportunity. So we'll go back to Pepsi in a minute. Let's see about Coca-Cola. Some people like Coke. Oh, in 1949, the 8 of Wands, that means speed. It also regards travel and flight. So, we're talking about Pepsi, but maybe Coke is in the same business. I mean, they are competitors. They are multi-billion-dollar corporations. Let's see what else we got in 2025 for Coca-Cola. I got the 7 of Wands, and the 7 of Wands is busy defending his position. We just said that they were in competition with Pepsi. And what about 2075? Are we all friends? Maybe not. How about the 9 of Swords? I think Pepsi wins the space race between Pepsi and Coke.
But do you think, I mean, from what you're saying, do you think they're both really I think they're competitors in space as well? I had no idea until just now that they would be competitors in space. But it makes sense. They're corporations that are equal in financial value, just about. And they've been at each other's throats for 100 years at least. Well, you know what? I just thought of something from what Gene Decode says. We need to look into like Inner Earth too, because it seems like there's a lot going on underground. Like there's actual huge cities under there and shit. You know what I mean? So so what makes me think? I honestly wonder if they are in Inner Earth too. I know it sounds crazy, but like maybe they're in Inner Earth as well. Right? Who knows?
Well, I think that this is my opinion, Rob. When we talk about Inner Earth, it is just as remote to us as outer space. And so, and I also know from having listened to so many programs that, people go from Inner Earth to outer space all the time. Somehow there's actually like you've heard about the incredible trains that they have down there. And these trains, I don't know where I heard this from, but I'm not making it up. I mean, I'm not making up that I heard this. You know, the trains, they will go down a track and they actually go through a portal and they end up on another planet. And oh, hey, Kelly, I see that you're still up on the screen or whatever.
Oh, I'll take that off. Oh, sorry.
No, she's got a nice picture. Don't be in a hurry to take it down. But anyway, if you get to the chapter called Welcome to Mars, there's the protagonist, the hero, who is Gerald. He's the clone that's just waking up on Mars, and his handler named Pierce, who's trying to get him home. And Pierce is trying to get Gerald to the train because they're going to go take a train to another planet. So I think that it's quite easy and commonplace for people to take trains from inner Earth to outer space to other planets. And what did I hear today? Some lady, have you heard of a guy named Joseph Farrell, by the way? Farrel, Joseph Farrell?
Yeah, I like his work. Yeah, I'm a fan.
So yes. So anyway, I was listening to a lady who worked with Joseph Farrell, and she was saying there's something like 173 of these underground cities, and a lot of them have been developed just in the last couple of decades, using the money from our society. You know, we notice that, prices go up, there's scarcity for us. And basically what she said, her name was Catherine Pitts or something like that. I can't
Catherine Austin Fitz. Catherine Austin Fitz, you're thinking of. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
She explained, and I like this because it makes us think about this. She said, when you have like one shop open and you want to open another shop, well, you feed off the first shop before you close it down, and then you take what you capitalize on from there and put it in your new shop. So what we've got going is we're the society on the crust of Earth, and we're the old shop, and they've been taking money out of our system and put it in their new shop up there, but we're not supposed to know about it because they're not really worried about us and our dignity. They don't look at us like humans. They're above us. They have technology and they know stuff that we don't know. We're not even allowed to think about the fourth or fifth dimension. And we're told that prayer is like irrelevant. They always tell us the things that are the most powerful to us are really not even anything we should pay attention to. Junk DNA, like I complained about on my Star Card podcast. Junk DNA. God didn't make DNA with any junk in it, okay? There's a lot of good stuff in the junk DNA. It's not junk at all. It's our gold. It's galactic gold. I'm stealing my own lines from my own show. So I got another one, Rob. I know I'm going a mile a minute here. I had a little coffee before we started. I always do. I don't know if you can tell. But, a while ago you talked about, we were joking around on Halloween, and somebody said something. You said something about they need to make a movie, Hot Tub Time Machine Part 3, the Secret Space Program Edition. I don't know if you remember that.
Yeah. That'd be funny.
That was funny. So I think that we should throw cards for that and see if they're going to make one. And if we do the questions precisely, we could find out a lot of information. While I get these things set up, last time I was on the show was only 5 days ago. I think you've done 25 shows since then. Last time I was on the show, you were talking about, I just lost my train of thought. Okay, let's throw the cards. We're going to get ready to calm down just a little bit here. Hot Tub Time Machine Part 3. Please show us what we need to know. Please tell us what we need to hear about Rob's great idea. If the cards tell us that you need to trademark that, this will be on video anyway. It'll be part of your copyright case. All right.
Maybe I should make a book. Maybe I could call it Hot Tub Time Machine 3, and it could be like a fiction book about, people who, get in a hot tub and they, journey to space, and they end up in the secret space program. That would be pretty crazy, right?
Yeah. Or even get the guys from the original movies. Basically it's fan fiction. Well, let's see what happens here. Because that's pretty funny. I mean, the movies themselves are pretty funny, but if you got the secret space program part of it, you got disclosure going. There's a lot of movies with disclosure. There's like some Disney movie out with, they're like straight up just talking about the stuff that you talk about on your show. All right, Hot Tub Time Machine Part 3, the secret space program. Let's see what the cards have to say. The High Priestess, okay? I think she's saying it's a good idea. She's all about intuition. And maybe you were channeling that idea. That's awesome. Sweet. The King of Wands. Rob, the King of Wands is the big picture. We're talking about a movie, the big picture. So you have an idea for a movie, and let's see what this says. The moon. This card shows up a lot for you. The moon, again, it's mystery. It's hidden meanings and the 9 of Wands. This is the experienced person. Well, you know what? I think it means you should at least trademark the idea because you came up with the idea. It's a great idea for a movie. It has mystery and fun to it. And if you're wise, you'll copyright it. So this way, no one will steal your idea and make millions off of you.
Yeah, I think it's a really good idea. You know.
Yeah.
Should we had one person request a reading if you want to do,
Great.
or do you want to do more topics? It's up to you.
No, I'm ready to do a reading, and I can go check out my list later.
Okay.
We had a lot of fun tonight. Yeah, who's this
for? This is for Carrie Hanlin. I believe she's from Australia, and and she didn't say if she had a question, but she just said,
Okay. Carrie Hanlin. All right. Nice to see you, Carrie.
And if anybody else wants a reading, just put your name in the chat and we'll get you a reading. And then if you want to donate, it's totally up to you guys. You don't have to. You're not obligated, So if you're thinking you can't get a reading because you have to donate, that's not it at all. You can get a reading for sure. Sorry, I was looking through the chat here. I took shrooms tonight, right? So
right.
So I thought it would be fun. Well, I mean, it's a Friday night. I wanted to treat myself a little bit. So, here we go. We're off to space. I'm going to be in my own hot tub time machine, but it's going to be in the studio.
Sweet. All right. All right. Please show us what we need to see. Please tell us what we need to hear for Carrie. Wow, I saw your GoFundMe site, as you know, and I like how you put like the amount you were trying to reach because that helped. And I see that as of our meeting beginning tonight, you're like 10 or 11% on your way, according to GoFundMe.
Yeah, I'm excited. I really am. Like I think I'm going to be able to go. Brian's such a nice guy. Brian offered to put up some money for me to go too, so I have that too in my back pocket. So I'm like, I'm just, and then obviously I have some income coming in too, so, I hope I'll be able to do it. I overestimated what I needed because I want to, make sure, I don't want to travel and be like broke, I'd rather have an abundance and like, Yeah. In case of emergencies, you never know if you're going to have an emergency and you got to fly home or, something crazy could happen. You know what I mean? And you just want to be prepared. You know what I mean? You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. And this is a once in a lifetime opportunity. I know you went last year, but it's a once in a lifetime opportunity. Something else to be mentioned on one of our shows together was that, money is so important, but there's other forms of value. And, I see value in your job as a job itself. You look at the guests you have. You couldn't pay people $1 million to get all the guests that you get. There's a value for you and there's value for the guests who come on your show. And there's value for the audience when we tune in. So there's lots of forms of value. And I think you're a rich man in that sense. Although, it would help, to get the flow going. Anyway, I'll leave that up to Sean Bond. So let's see.
By the way, we just hit 3,000 subscribers on my new YouTube channel. And I think I've only had it open since maybe February. So it's not moving as fast as I thought because I had 20,000 on my old one. So I'm like, I'm trying to wonder where did all these people go? And I don't know. I remember there was an old crew that used to watch my shows, and now there's a new crew of people, which I like the new crew too. But I'm wondering where the old people are too. They're not old people, but the people that used to watch. Right. I don't know. I wonder if I'm getting shadow banned or something. I don't know, but
I think that's probably the case. Going back to the Halloween show, I don't think I mentioned this before, but we did talk about the count. That Halloween show in 2024. You got a couple thousand for the big panel that you had. And then I was riding the coattails because I was the same night and I had 2,000 views. I know because I kept on checking them all. Whoa, that's a lot of views. I never had that many before. And then after a couple of days, I was down to 500 something views. I'm all, wait, did 1,500 people unwatch my show somehow? And so I know, like, I think they're jimmying the numbers on you, but turn it around. What did that do? It just made you say, you know what? I'm going to step up my presence on other platforms. If they don't appreciate me, I'm going to go where I'm appreciated.
Yeah, I just got news from my friend sent me a thing. He's like, dude, you're ranked 83rd on Apple Podcasts. For my audio podcast. I was like, holy shit, that's amazing. It's not out of everything. It's just for the education category. I guess my podcast is in the education category. So if you guys go check on Apple Podcasts, you'll see that I'm ranked number 83rd in education, which I think is pretty decent. I don't know how they rate that stuff, but it's it's pretty cool.
That's more than cool, dude. You're in the top 100 in the education podcast, and you're revealing hidden knowledge. It's anyway, that's an amazing thing. Happy Summer Solstice. Way to go.
Happy, and thank you, Ray, for all the compliments. You're such a good friend. I really appreciate your friendship. I really do. Like, you're a good person, and I really appreciate you, giving me props. That really means a lot.
Well, it's my pleasure, and I'm so glad I could be here. I think I'm speaking on behalf of thousands of people when I'm just reminding you about how awesome you are. Don't forget about it. I know it's a grind, but nobody does what you do. I mean, a lot of people do what you do, but not the way you do it. So, and again, as you change a lot of people's lives. So, ladies and gentlemen, I didn't know anything about tarot till I watched Rob's show. I've only been doing it 2 months. Everything's for entertainment purposes only, except for the part where I'm complimenting Rob. That's serious business. All right, let's throw some.
But we got to give Matthew Mornian props too, right?
That's right.
Because Matthew was your teacher. Matthew's a great teacher.
Evidently, yeah. No, I know he's a good teacher. He's patient. He explains things well. He doesn't care how long it's going to take. He's going to make sure everyone gets their questions answered. I recommend that everyone sign up for Matthew's class, because I recommend that everyone learn how to do tarot. Again, if I can learn it in 2 months, this is something everyone can have access to, and it can change the way you look at the world. Right on. Right on, Matthew Mornian. Thank you very much. All right. So I got my first paragraph over here for Carrie. I don't know what the 88's for, Carrie. I just want to let you know I'm the class of 84. That's how old I am. Seven of Wands is back. Someone's defending their position. Very nice. There's some more wands. The Page of Wands. I'm going to have to look at these cards for you, see what story they're telling. And then I like this one, the King of Cups. That dude is cool. There's some good things going on with the King of Cups. I will look at the cards more carefully in a minute. I don't have a story for all of them yet. I'm learning. Oh, how wonderful. Ace of Swords. There's the beginning of something, and there's some scientific exactness involved. You have the tool and the power to make it happen. And one of my favorite cards, the King of Pentacles. I mean, when you put these two together, it's like you won the lottery, but no, you didn't win the lottery. You made a good choice. Let me get my magnifying glass and take a closer look at the cards here so I can understand the story better. So 7 of Wands, there's a challenge, there's competition, you're protecting something, there's perseverance, there's defense, and you're trying to maintain control. And then as you're maintaining control, the Page of Wands says there's inspiration, there's ideas, there's discovery, there's limitless potential. You are a free spirit. There's excitement, exploration, and freedom. And the King of Cups says you're emotionally balanced, you have compassion, you're diplomatic, you show control, you're a supportive leader, you're tolerant, and you're empathic. So you had to fight to get to where you were, but look at you now, all the opportunities you have in front of you, because you're the king, and it's good to be the king. And then in your position as the king and this success and this emotionally balanced diplomatic person, the Ace of Swords says you have mental clarity, there's going to be breakthroughs, there's new ideas, success, you have a sharp mind, there's new conflict perhaps, and it also mentions surgery, but I like the first group of adjectives. And then the King of Pentacles, wealth, business, leadership, security, discipline, abundance. Did you get a pair of kings? That's a pretty good hand in poker, Carrie. I'm going to say I'm happy for you. Congratulations. Looks like you win that game.
If that was Texas Hold'em, she'd have a good hand,
Yes, ace high. Ace high, that's right. How about that?
Do you know that people read regular playing cards too, Ray? There's like a formula to it. Like people can actually do readings with like, you know, the king, the ace, you know what I mean? I don't know how they do it, but like, you know, they do. You know, it's really yeah, I haven't looked into it, but yeah, I have heard people do that, you know.
I've never heard that before, but that's why I tune into your show to hear stuff I never heard before. And I know that the playing cards that you're talking about came from the original tarot deck.
Really?
Yes.
Wow.
You know, there's 4 suits. Each suit. Oh, look, there's my card, the star card. There you are. Okay. Yeah, there's 4 suits, and each one is this. You know, I can't remember how each one translates as, but I bet our friend Rock Castaldo knows that stuff. I know he did a tarot history show with you, I think.
Yeah, for sure. He's really good with that stuff, you know.
Yeah.
He's
cool,
yeah, I like Raw a lot. He's he knows all about the origins. Yeah. I was going to say, if anybody else wants a reading, and you know, put your name in the chat. Let me see if I missed someone. I'll go through and see if I missed someone. Oh, Cat Monster would like a reading. Hey, Cat, how you doing? And I put her name up on the screen, and she says she'd like a reading.
My pleasure, Cat Monster. Nice to meet you. Please show us what we need to see. Please tell us what we need to hear to help Cat Monster.
And guys, you know, go subscribe to Ray's channel. It's Star Card Podcast again. You know, for everybody that's like new here or whatever. You know. Hey, Anchor Haven, good to see you.
All right. I gotta say, I like that handle, Cat Monster. That's pretty awesome.
I met her in person. She's really cool. She's from Pittsburgh here.
Oh, another Pittsburgh person. Cool. You know what I was thinking? Oh, let's take care of Cat Monster. Anyway,
she's an artist, by the way. She's a professional artist. Like she does it like, you know, she's pretty coi've
been admiring her art in her little icon there, her little avatar. Yeah, right on. Well, I don't know what's going on tonight. Anyway, here's the 5 of Wands again. There's a conflict going on. Let's see what's going on here. Oh, but the 10 of Pentacles, that signifies abundance. We'll look at the cards more carefully. Maybe we're fighting over something. But this is always a fun card. I think one of our friends from tarot class got this card. It's the 2 of Wands, and our teacher Matthew Morning says the 2 of Wands says you have the green light. Go for it. You know, you're looking at the globe, you plan for this, you already know what to do, and the universe is saying, go for it. So, I mean, just a quick cursory look at these cards, you know, maybe we're in a conflict over something valuable to us, and you're not sure if you should take the next step, and the universe is saying, go for it. But let's see how the story ends here. Oh. This is all for entertainment purposes only. Here's the 5 of Cups, represents some kind of disappointment. We may have to revise our story. Whoa. But then you have one of my favorite cards, the Queen of Wands, who tells about the zest for life. So let's look very quickly one more time at how the story plays out. The basic point is, you know, there might be disappointment right away. You know, there might be a loss, but it's probably like a good riddance loss because the Queen of Wands says, go enjoy your life. You know, forget about this. You have a zest for life. I will get my magnifying glass now and read for the Cat Monster. Competition, rivalry, conflict, disagreements, strife, and tension. Fighting, the 10 of Pentacles, wealth, financial security, family, long-term success, contribution. I mean, this could be something like people fighting over a will, like they're doing in my family right now, or this could be two teenagers fighting over who gets to drive the car. And that sounds very 20th century. Everyone's just going to Uber anyway. Okay, but whatever you decide, 2 of Wands says, you know, the universe has your back. You already planned it out. You already know the best way to handle it. Go for it. And then there might be a disappointment and a loss, but Breakaway Ray says good riddance. because now it's time to go enjoy yourself. Have a zest for life, because things are looking good. I hope that was helpful. That was a pleasure, Cat Monster. Thank you.
That was great. She didn't respond yet, so I hope she got that, and I hope she likes our reading. And yeah, and
Yeah.
Seeing who else here. If anybody else would like a reading, put your name in the chat, and we'll get to you. I'm going through the chat here to see if anybody else wants a reading. I'm just waiting. Waiting for someone.
No hurry. Someone's gonna chime in soon.
If you want to read me, Ray, you can.
Sure.
While we're waiting for someone.
So, well, you know what? I'm sure this doesn't surprise you. I did a reading for you and me together because I noticed how we were spending a lot of time together. And so when I was shuffling, like one card escaped, right? Like it just went over there. I'm all right. I'm going to set that aside. I'm not going to look at it. But I know he wants to be looked at. And then I went ahead and I threw like a 15 card spread. And it was one of the ones what was like an inner world versus an outer world. Like across the top was the inner world with, Rob's inner world and my inner world. Where they connected? Was there a tie? And how did they progress? In the outer world, the one that we're living in now, the one we're talking in right now. And then after I did all the cards and everything seemed, the way I usually do, the messages seemed pretty clear and accurate. I went and I turned this card over. I'm sure it's not the same card, Rob, but when I turned the card over, it was the devil. And I'm all thinking to myself, yeah, that's what Rob and I have been doing. We've been uncovering the devil. We're all dancing around it, but we're trying to reveal what we don't see. By the way, the card that I did pick was the learning card, the Hierophant. Don't forget that Rob is in the top 100 on Apple Tunes for his podcast, and he's in the category of education, the Hierophant. So anyway, That was a quick kind of a reading for you. But yeah, let's do one more. Let's refine our question. Would you like to know about the effects of the trip? Like, when it's all over, maybe the route down? Do you want me to check out the actual transportation situation? Is there something specific, or I could just go do a general reading? That's fine too.
I guess in general, that would be cool.
Great.
I was gonna say we got more people. We got some people that requested readings. So first of all, Cat Monster wanted to say thank you so much. She said sorry for the late response, and then we got, so you don't have to read me, Ray, because we got Amy Rizzo here. She'd like a reading, and then Anchor Haven would like a reading.
Yay! I feel like I'm among friends. I remember Ms. Rizzo from last time, and of course, as you know, Rob, I corresponded with Julie Anchor Haven earlier today. But all right, Amy, good to see you again on the holidays. And that was a good Memorial Day reading, I think. We're all having a good time. Please show us what Amy needs to see in a fun way. Please tell us what Amy needs to hear. Amy. Two came out there. All right, here we go, Amy. Let's see what these pictures tell us. Yay! You should request a reading every time. You always have nice cards. Here's the 10 of Cups. Dreams come true. Party on. Way to start.
Wow.
It better not go downhill. All right. Oh, it's Rob's card, the Hierophant, the educated person here. Did someone graduate in your family, Amy? Was there a celebration for a graduation, maybe? All right. The Moon. Something mysterious, something hidden. The Knight of Wands. There's some action going on. Look at these cards, ladies and gentlemen, with the words written right on it. It makes it very easy. And then the Six of Cups. That indicates nostalgia, childhood. All right, let's see how the story ends over here. Here's another I have a crush on this lady also. It's the Nine of Pentacles. See, she signifies abundance. And then I'm happy to say you finish with a Page of Wands. So I'm going to go ahead and read the cards on the cards, and then we'll see how that story shaped up. Like I said, this kind of looks like a graduation. 10 of Cups, divine love, harmony, blissful relationships, alignment, inner happiness, fulfillment, dreams come true, family contentment, total love and support. And don't forget, it's 10 out of 10. And then the Hierophant, institutions, tradition, religion, society and its rules, social approval, conformity, forgiveness, bonded, mercy, wisdom, and trust. Then this interesting middle story. The moon represents illusion, mystery, dreams, intuition, fear, anxiety, the subconscious, and premonitions. The Knight of Wands says energy, inspired action, adventure, fearless, impulsiveness. So if you're following your intuition, you could be impulsive in, if you're all excited about something. And then this part concludes with 6 of Cups, familiarity, happy memories, reminiscing, childhood memories, innocence, joy, and nostalgia. I'm just going to leave that be. I mean, I have some ideas, but I would be getting pretty carried away with my own thoughts there. Finally, the Nine of Pentacles says, fruits of your labor, rewards, luxury, self-sufficiency, financial independence. Yeah, the fruits of your labor. You work really hard for this. You work really hard for this, and now you get to do Page of Wands. And the Page of Wands says, be inspired with your ideas, discovery, limitless potential, free spirit, exploration, excitement, and freedom. So somebody graduated, maybe you advanced in your knowledge, and now you can live all parts of your life at the same time with your subconscious, visiting your childhood, visiting the future you, visiting various parts of your life at the same time, whenever you want to, because you've worked really hard to expand your consciousness, and now you can go for it and have all your adventures. That's how Breakaway Ray tells the story. I hope that worked out, Amy. Thank you for letting me read.
That was amazing. That was a great reading. I like that. I like that a lot. Yeah.
Thank you, Bob. Appreciate it.
That was really good, Ray. You're getting a lot better. Like you're getting like, I can tell you're able to start putting together all the cards, and it's like it's really cool seeing your growth in tarot.
Well, Rob, you're more or less like my parent in this case. You're the one that took me to sports practice and got me to do this stuff. So you should be behaving like a proud father, and I'm very happy. Thank you, Rob. Again, it changed my life. I was like always relying on, is this psychic? I'm going to have to schedule them at this time, and I should hold off because after this meeting, I'm going to want to talk to a psychic. And now, I'm not going to show you my notebook again, but I sit down and write like 4 or 5 pages a day, just me and my tarot cards having a dialogue. You're right. It is getting easier. It is getting better. And I know you saw, we're on Julie Anchorhaven. Let's take care of Julie Anchorhaven, and then we can talk more about, because I want to ask you about the podcast. I know you saw the interview I did with Psychic Cross, but let's take care of Ms. Anchorhaven first here.
Sounds good.
Yeah. Please show us what Julia needs to see. Please tell us what Julia needs to hear. I think Julia Anchorhaven also has her own show, a health and wellness program.
Oh, yeah, she goes into like the secret space program and all kinds of stuff too. She's she just had an interview with David Purcell. She sent it to me today. I'm gonna watch it tonight after we're done. When I'm gonna go for a night walk, and then I'll put it on in my headphones while I go for my night walk. Because I've been really enjoying being outside and like getting like fresh air and especially when I'm on the computer so much, I really look forward to when I can just go and walk, and then it clears my mind, and then it's great, Yeah,
it's really hard to be on the computer. I know, sometimes I do computer one day and then I take a day off, and I'm glad. I know I'm so fortunate. I don't want to talk about how hard it was to get here, but I have a lot of time where I don't have to do stuff. Anyway, what I'm saying is, if I don't have to work on the computer one day, I'm taking a day off. I worked hard all my life. I'm doing 9 of Pentacles, fruits of my labor. Hey, I threw a lot of cards here for Julia. Let's see what story we're opening up here. Hey, we're starting off with the King of Pentacles. That's always a good card, indicates abundance. There's also like control involved when you're the king. Hey, it's the Two of Wands. You planned it. You should go for it. The universe says you're all ready to go. And it's one of my favorite cards, the Star card. You're going to be an inspiration. If this is about your podcast, I mean, there's all kinds of value, but yeah, you should definitely keep on going. You know what you're doing, and you're bringing inspiration to people. And apparently you're helping with their health. That's like a big thing we all have. Well, let's not talk about the big medical and get a warning on my podcast with you. Anyway, next up, it's the Empress, another royal in control. Wonderful. The Four of Pentacles says, watch your pennies, count your dimes, be frugal, don't spend unnecessarily. The Seven of Pentacles says, you're working for the long haul. You're tilling your garden. You got a long range view. I hope I got that right. I hope I don't have it confused with the Eight of Pentacles. Speaking of Pentacles, Three of Pentacles, you have the Three of Pentacles, which is a teamwork card. And in my lexicon, it's teamwork with the spiritual world. So, you have support, even though it may not always be visible. And if you think about it, anybody in the chat, anyone watching the show, certainly Rob, and you think about all the things that every one of us have overcome, for months and for years, then definitely, all of us are being protected. We're all being looked out for. But don't forget to ask for help. You're allowed to ask the universe for help. Okay. Next up, it's the Six of Pentacles, the giving and receiving card. There's the Hermit, suitable for this podcast. We're turning inward. And then the Eight of Wands. Okay, so remember how I said you were, you had a family in the spirit world that's helping you. Well, there's some give and take involved. And because of your hard work and because you can turn inward, you can expect things to change in a hurry. The Eight of Wands says, things happen in a hurry, maybe weeks, not much more than a couple of months, perhaps, in this particular arena. So I'm going to pull less cards maybe next time, but I'm going to do my best to read to you what all these cards say. But, one more time, not knowing a lot about you, Julia, you're in a fortunate position. You've planned ahead. You're ready to go. The universe says you got it. You're going to be an inspiration and you're going to be inspired. You're in control. You can mind the purse strings, work hard. Think of the long term. We want you around for a while doing this. The spirit world is with you. They're helping you. There's a give and take involved. Okay. And I will go right now to King of Pentacles, wealth, business, leadership, security, discipline, abundance, prosperity, and generosity. Two of Wands, planning, progress, making decisions, discovery, leaving home, and travel plans. The Star card, hope, calm, faith, purpose, renewal, spirituality, fortune, good omen, rejuvenation. Second paragraph, the Empress, abundance, nurturing, fertility, feminine, good parenting, development, accomplishment, growth, evolution, action. And, just because it crossed my mind while I read this, why don't you think back 15 years ago? Were you in quite the same position you are in now? Seems like you might be ahead of the game, according to this card, from your own hard work, from your own inner work. Four of Pentacles, saving money, security, conservation, scarcity, control, and frugality. The Seven of Pentacles, long-term view, hard work, perseverance, diligence, sustainable results, and investment. The Three of Pentacles, teamwork, collaboration, learning, implementation, building something. The Six of Pentacles, giving, receiving, sharing wealth, generosity, and charity. And the Hierophant, that's not the Hierophant, that's the Hermit. The Hermit, soul searching, introspection, contemplation, wisdom, truth-seeking, being alone, independence, inner guidance, meditation, and consciousness. And the Eight of Wands, delays, frustration. Oh, that's upside down. Sorry. Eight of Wands, speed, rapid action, movement, swift change, manifesting quickly, quick decisions, and air travel. All right, that was a lot of fun. That's right, lots of pentacles. Ka-ching! All right. Thank you.
Pentacles mean money, right? It's a good sign, I guess, right?
Yeah, Matthew Moynihan says pentacles are the currency of our desire. But yeah, mostly money.
That's great.
Yeah.
Okay, the next one we got is Puck Elf, and he just says he'd like a reading, and yeah, so you're up next, Puck Elf, and good to see you.
Yeah, good to see you, Puck Elf. I remember you. Thanks for letting me read for you. This is a lot of fun. Thank you. Please show us what we need to see. Please tell us here. A fun way for Puck Elf. Please show us what we need to see. Please tell us what we need to hear for Puck Elf. Puck Elf.
I like how you lay out the cards at a different like spread every time. Like that's kind of cool.
Yeah, keeps it interesting for me too. But I'm just going with the flow.
Anchor Haven wanted me to let you know. She said in the chat, she said she's never had so many pentacles. Reading.
Well, that Eight of Wands says you should be expecting a lot more. There's a big change coming. That's good news. We all got to think positive. All right, this is for Puck Elf. Yeah, I'd love to talk about this card. Anyway, Justice. It's awesome. Hey, another awesome card, the Star card.
Wow, another person getting the star.
I wish this was my reading right now. All right, but this is for Puck Elf. Sweet, and you got the Empress. Control and comfort and luxury. The second paragraph. I don't know how many times have we seen this guy tonight, the Knight of Wands. And you hear that, everybody? We all need to charge forward. We're doing a good job. This is another one of my favorite cards. It's a Three of Wands. And there's a sentence that I have that goes with this card. It's luck is where preparation meets opportunity. You can't be lucky if you're not prepared in the first place. You don't get lucky and win a football game. You have to practice all week. So anyway, last paragraph for Puck Elf. Another challenge, Seven of Wands. Hey, here's a fun one, the Chariot. That's movement. And, Five of Cups, there's some kind of disappointment involved. So it seems to me that maybe there's some justice coming Puck Elf's way in an inspired way. Maybe it's not coming in, how we talk about the different kinds of value besides money. Maybe there's going to be some other kind of justice is going to be meted out in some other way. And we're probably all going to be surprised and inspired when it happens. But it's not already happening, because when you have the Empress, it says here, you're already sitting in luxury. Let's see what the Empress says. Abundance, nurturing, fertility, feminine, good parenting, development, accomplishment, growth, evolution, and action. Good parenting may apply here. Maybe I don't know, Puck Elf. I don't know anything about you, whether you're a parent or not, or even if you're old enough to be a parent. But it looks like this is when the good parent looks back and rests on their laurels a little bit. My kid did the right thing. They were inspired to do the right thing, and thank God I taught my kid the right thing. Moving on, you have the Knight of Wands saying charge forward, and that's because whatever's going on, you've been preparing. Whatever it is, your opportunity for luck is about to happen, and you're prepared for it. Your pads are, I don't know. I was thinking of American football. Your pads and your helmet are on, and you're ready to go out there and play. But if that's not your sport, you got the big banana-shaped wicker bat, and you're ready to go play cricket on the pitch. And then moving on, so you're ready for the challenge, and you're a little bit like a very fast front court in the NBA. You got a lot of speed. That's what they're contending with. You're moving too fast for everybody. There's going to be some kind of disappointment. I'm hoping it's for everybody else, Puck Elf, and not for you. But let's take a look very quickly at what some of these cards had to say. Justice, fairness, truth, clarity, equality, balance, cause and effect, law. The star card, hope, calm, faith, purpose, renewal, spirituality, fortune, good omen, and rejuvenation. The Empress, abundance, nurturing, fertility, good parenting. We read this one already. Yeah, this is like this is like someone saying, yeah, this is a good, you're in a good position. You're looking around and things aren't as bad as maybe they could have been, or maybe they were in the past. You're in a good position. It feels like that. And then the Knight of Wands says, energy, passionate, inspired action, adventure. And then the Three of Wands says, preparation, progress, foresight. You might as well go forward in a hurry because you know exactly what you're doing. You're way ahead of the game. You're way ahead of everybody else. And then the Seven of Wands, challenge, competition, protection, perseverance, defense, maintaining control. Speaking of sound like you're an athlete in the decathlon. The Chariot, movement, progress, action, integration, determination, willpower, control, direction, and courage. And the Five of Cups says there's regret, there's failure, there's disappointment, there's pessimism, loss, and grief. But again, if we were like the King of Wands and we look back at all this, what a fun adventure this all was. I mean, maybe it's like a Shakespearean play, it's filled with drama, but it's not one of the Shakespeare's comedies. It's a tragedy. There's something, that happened at the end, but the big picture is what a fun, rich adventure it's been. I don't know, Puck Elf, I'm trying to make it sound good. I hope this was helpful. Thank you very much for letting me read for you. You're having a great weekend.
That was great. And I hope that, and it's already the weekend for him because I think he's in Australia, so it's like a day ahead, So it's already Saturday there.
Right.
Did anybody else like a reading? Andromeda, I see you're in the audience. Usually you want a reading. Like, do you want a reading tonight, Andromeda? We'll get you. Andromeda wants to know. I don't know if this is his question or what. He says he's wondering how many universes did the black hole swallow up. So I don't know what
So is he talking about just one black hole swallowing up universes?
Yeah.
We can ask.
He said he'd like a reading. He said he'd take a reading. So if you want to do Andromeda, yeah, that'd be cool.
Yeah,
but I don't know what he means by that. But I mean, if the black hole has swallowed the universes, like, wouldn't we be? Well, it did. Obviously, it hasn't swallowed ours yet, But I mean, yeah. And then I wonder what happens once you go through it. Maybe the black hole is an escape from the Matrix.
Yeah. We wouldn't know.
Yeah.
That's what we're all speculating on down here. All right. So please show us what the Andromeda needs to see. Please tell us what the Andromeda needs to hear. And if you have a message about the black holes swallowing universes, we're all ears. All right. Please show us what the Andromeda needs to see. Please tell us what the Andromeda needs to hear. Ooh. Should I just? No, that's too many. For the Andromeda. All right. All four of those guys want to come out. Let's throw three more. All right. Let's make a nice story for the Andromedan. All right. How about we start off with a little magic, Andromedan? Sweet. All right. Things are looking good. Someone's going to get lucky. There's the Wheel of Fortune. But luck is where preparation meets opportunity. You're already a magician. You make your own luck. That's manifestation, isn't it? Hey, did I just say the 3 of Wands? There it is, okay? Woo! All right. Okay. So, if you've been watching me up here on Rob's show, that I got an issue with this card. I finally came up with a sentence for this card. The 8 of Swords says, in every way you can imagine. In every way you can imagine. So if you can imagine it to be really, really great, guess what? It's going to happen. And if you can imagine it's going to be really, really terrible, that's manifestation. Guess what's going to happen? So a lot of the stuff we just talked about, you're the magician. You make things happen. You make your own luck. You manifest things. You make your own luck. Luck is where preparation meets opportunity. And you can do it as much as you want, as much as you can imagine. It's all about what you imagine. Set the right intent. All right. Second paragraph. The Queen of Cups. I like all the queens. And Rob's honorary card tonight, the Hierophant for education.
Whoa. That's amazing.
Yeah. And the 6 of Cups again. All right. So I kind of like what I did up here. I pretty much did explain these first 4 cards. Oh, there, let's get the magnifying glass. The Magician, action, creation, manifestation, power, self-confidence, clarity, willpower, skill, and creativity. Ask yourself, why not? I could create this. I could go for this. Wheel of Fortune, good luck, karma, life cycles, destiny, turning point, change, inevitable fate, ups and downs, unpredictable. The 3 of Wands, preparation, progress, foresight, enterprise, expansion, overseas opportunities, expansion. The 8 of Swords, negative thoughts, self-imposed restriction, imprisonment, victim mentality, entrapment. But on the reverse side, it says self-limiting beliefs, inner critic, releasing negative thoughts, opening to new perspectives, self-acceptance and freedom. Queen of Cups, compassion, comfort, calm, nurturing, healing, emotionally stable, intuitive, caring. That's a nice description. I'd love to have a parent like that, or anyone in my life like that. The Hierophant, institutions, tradition, religion, society and its rules, social approval, conformity, forgiveness, bonded, mercy, wisdom, and trust. And then familiarity, this is 6 of Cups, familiarity, happy memories, reminiscing, childhood memories, innocence, joy, nostalgia. I wonder, again, I don't know the Andromedan, but it just feels to me like now's a good time to call mom. Call mom. She has all the answers. She's been there for you before. How many times in our lives has a mother's love lifted us up and turned us around? Anyway, I don't know if that applies, but my intention is sincere, Andromeda. I hope you benefit from the reading. Thanks for letting me read. It's all for entertainment purposes only. That's a nice group of cards. Tells me you're very powerful. You got all these major arcana cards. You got these 3 right here. Anyway, really like how it turned out for you.
Yeah, I love that too. That's amazing. It's amazing.
Right.
Just see if anybody else wanted a reading. I'll see if anybody donated. Well, you don't have to donate.
Right.
Let me see here. No, but let me see if does anybody else want a reading while we're here? Let's see here.
Yeah, you're monitoring 2 chats right now, aren't you?
Yeah, there's the Rumble chat too. Yeah, Jason and Derek are nice enough. They're watching the stream on Rumble and YouTube. So I gotta make them moderators on Rumble. I don't know how to do that. I gotta figure that out. I think Jason is a moderator but I gotta make Derek a moderator on Rumble too. Oh, Ray, why don't you tell us about that picture that I used for the thumbnail? That'd be cool.
Sure.
That's cool.
Yeah, let me change cameras real quick. There we go. So the picture that you put in the thumbnail, it was 1984. My friends and I had all just graduated from high school, and we were in Hawaii, and that was on yeah, my phone is ringing. Hang on. All right, it'll stop ringing eventually. Anyway, we were just on the beach there, and you can see my 1984 glasses. They didn't actually protect my eyes, but they were cool glasses, and you can see how much I changed in 40 years.
Is that 40 years?
Is it? Yeah,
dude, isn't it crazy? Like how isn't it crazy, Ray? Like how fast time goes. Like I never thought I would be 45 years old. You know what's crazy too is like I had so many friends like pass away and stuff. You know, it's like I'm happy that I made it this far in life. You know, but I mean at the same time, it's like where the hell did time go? You know?
Yeah. Well, yeah, that's like a bummer for almost all of us. I'd say. You know, you grind away every day at work, and then before you know it, 30, 40 years have gone by, and you're all, whoa, what happened to my life? You know, my kid's all grown up and has kids now. I didn't get to spend enough time with them, for example. I mean, time does fly. Well, then there's all those remedies, right? There's consciousness, you know. Through consciousness, you can change everything. You can revisit parts of your life, you know, in the future or in the past. You can reshape them. I've seen so many videos over the years how, you know, if you meditate on a memory from the past, you know, and you change it in your mind the way that whole memory went, you can actually change reality, you know, because in lots of cases, you're the only one who remembers that part. And if you change the way you thought about it way back when, it changes you as a person right now.
Oh, you know what? My friend Candace has been really looking into reality shifting, which I'm going to get into too. Like a lot of, it's a big thing with like the younger generation. I guess a lot of people are doing it. It's like reality shifting, and you can literally like, you know how they say we can manifest our reality. I guess with reality shifting, you can just change your whole reality. You know what I mean? Like, or you can go to other realities, like in your dreams, like, but they're real realities. But you're like, what you're, you know, you map them out here, and then you actually go to them. You know what I mean? It's something like that. I got to look into it. You know, it's oh, we got a couple more people who want readings. If you want to do a couple more, it's up to you, Ray.
Yeah, I'd love to. If they want them, I'll do them.
Okay.
Yeah.
We got Jenna Side-E. I love her eyes there. It's kind of scary. Like, is she wearing contacts? That's you know, that's I love that though. She said, I would love a reading. She said, I'll hook you up, Rob. You know, I always do. Yeah, you do. You always do, Jenna. So thank you. Yeah. And thank you to anybody who donated tonight. And, you know, it's much appreciated. You know, you guys are amazing, you know? So, yeah. I consider you guys like my family. Like, you know, that's why I look forward to doing podcasts so much, because this is like my, you know, it's like my extended family, you know? I don't know. It's like we're all learning together, and I don't know.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. You know, when we shut down the schools and we were doing it all by Zoom with the classroom, you know, that was just like the beginning. But here you are, you've got a virtual life going. You've got a family all over the planet, and you get to hang out with them a couple of times a day. That's pretty rad. Congratulations on making it happen, dude. It's great.
Thanks. You know, I wish YouTube wouldn't have taken my channel down. You know, like I really wish they, you know, like they just, you know. But I mean, I'm not going to complain about it. You know, I don't know.
Yeah, they can't stop you.
Yeah.
And when you're every time you do a podcast now, it's like they already see we can't stop the guy. All right, just you know, you've got multiple platforms. I don't even think like it's a 3D thing, dude. I think it's a part of a reality that we don't see and we don't monitor, because, you know, we're all told to look the other way. But you're waking people up. That's the problem. Anyway, don't want to get too conspiratorial here. This is for Genocide. Awesome name. Genocide starts with the Six of Pentacles, the giving and receiving card. And this guy's going to show up for everybody tonight. The Page of Wands. Wonderful.
Wow.
Come on. You guys did see I shuffled. Here's the Knight of Wands. All right. In the middle paragraph. Wonderful. I've got the High Priestess and the Four of Pentacles. You know, super spiritual, esoteric, intangible. And then Four of Pentacles guy, you know, where's my wallet? I'm not using my credit card. If I ain't got the money, I ain't spending it. They're like opposite ends of the spectrum in a way. And then, speaking of opposite ends, how about some 5 of Wands, a little conflict. But then someone's going to win, 10 of Cups, dreams are going to come true. And after they come true, charge. It's the Knight of Swords. Get out there.
I remember, wasn't that from the Lone Ranger? I remember that.
I don't know. I'm thinking of Bugs Bunny cartoons. But
okay, yeah.
Could have been. Yeah, it's also the baseball things. Let's go Yankees. All right. So your cards say the 6 of Pentacles, giving and receiving, sharing wealth and generosity and charity. Wonderful. That's a wonderful trait. Page of Wands, inspiration, ideas, discovery, limitless potential, free spirit, exploration, excitement, and freedom. And the Knight of Wands says energy, passionate, inspired action, adventure, fearless, and impulsiveness. You know, by the way, I just noticed this way in the back of the card of the Knight of Wands. Those are the Egyptian pyramids back there. So
wow, that's cool.
Yeah, that's old school spirit world, right? The pyramids. This may mean something else, but it's multidimensional tarot. When you were talking about, donations or whatever, giving and receiving, and what do we get out of it? Rob gets to teach us all with all his great guests, and so that's an inspired action to take. In this case, charity is an inspired action to take. Okay, the High Priestess, powerful card, intuition, sacred knowledge. Sorry, let me read that again. Intuition, sacred knowledge, the subconscious, divine feminine, trust yourself, sensitivity, purity, and high morals. And I want to say, in the nicest way possible, the card for the High Priestess resembles Genocide's picture a little bit, certainly in the color scheme. I mean, they're even kind of wearing a hat there. And then the 4 of Pentacles says, don't spend any money. Saving money, security, conservation, scarcity, control, and frugality. I mean, isn't that the wisest thing to do, to protect your money and think of the future? The 5 of Wands says there's conflict, competition, rivalry, disagreements, strife, and tension. But then you go right from that to, I'm going to Disneyland because you just won. 10 of Cups, divine love, harmony, blissful relationships, alignment, inner happiness, fulfillment, dreams come true, family contentment, total love and support, and emphasis on the inner happiness. I know it's Cups, but it's inner happiness. That's what she's telling us to do. And then the Knight of Swords says, party on, ambitious, action-oriented, driven to succeed, fast thinking, defending beliefs. You're defending over here, you're defending over there, and your dreams come true in the middle. Something tells me you're on the right path. I hope these messages were helpful. It was a lot of fun to read for you, Genocide. Thank you very much.
I love that. That was a great reading. And the next one is from Sonia Galactic. And guys, if you don't know, I have T-shirts with, I'll put them up right now, with Sonia Galactic. She came out with the Typical Skeptic podcast ET headphones T-shirt. And she also came up with why is it? I thought that the link was in the description here. I don't know why the link's. Oh, here it is. I got it. It's galacticfire.com/TSP. The Psychic Duck T-shirts too. At least check them out. Like, you guys don't have to buy one tonight, but like, at least check them out, and then you might want to get one in the future. They're really cool shirts. Like, she did a really bang up job. Like, we did a collaboration. She does it professionally. Like shirts and stuff. So. It's I'll put the link in the description. Check it out, guys, and yeah.
Right on, Sonia. Nice to meet you. All right. Please show us what Sonia needs to see. Please tell us what Sonia needs to hear in a fun way. Also, Rob, again, I told you this once before. This is like a tarot laboratory. I don't get practice like this unless I'm coming on your show. I can barely persuade the people I know to take a reading because they're all spooked by witchcraft. So doing it, man. Thanks a lot. All right, but this is for Sonia.
Don't tell me it's raining again. It's raining again. Wait a minute. Let me see. I took out my headphones to see if I could hear it. I think it is raining again. I mean, it's rained every day here for the past 12, 13 days. It's crazy. I don't understand what's going on here.
So I was thinking about that. Did I mention this already tonight? Your friend Indy, the grid worker in Florida, you know what I'm talking about?
Indigo Angel, yeah.
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 So I don't know if she or the other lady that shows up on holidays, they're grid workers. Have they ever thought about doing grid work in Pennsylvania, in Pittsburgh? Because like I say, I bet there's some stuff going on, that weather is not really normal for Pittsburgh. Is that true?
Yeah, no, that's exactly. It's not. It shouldn't be rain. I mean, we get rain, but we don't get rain like this. This is like Seattle type weather.
Yeah.
So it makes me think that something's going on that like we don't. I don't know. I also wanted to show everybody this. Like my, I got this mini crystal skull. If you want to see, Ray, I don't know if you can see it from. I got it from Raw Castaldo. It's amazing. Like I bought this from his store. Guys can go to the Mystical Spiral for all your crystals and stuff like that. And he's an amazing person. He is.
Cool deal. Cool deal. All right. So this is for Sonia. I'm happy to start off for you with an Ace of Wands. And how about a pair of aces? You're all ready to play 5-card poker here. You got a pair of aces already, Ace of Pentacles. All right. In the next paragraph, the 3 of Cups, which is about, sorry, I said the wrong word. 3 of Pentacles, which shows collaboration. And for me, it always means collaboration with the spirit world. Something tells me, you're pretty inspired with all the artwork that you do. Hey, Rob, everyone saw me shuffle the cards. This Hierophant is to recognize Rob's accomplishment in the top 100 over there on Aptitudes, but also represents some learning in Sonia's life. And then, yay, one of my favorite cards, Justice is here. Okay, now let's see the last paragraph for Sonia. All right. I like this card more and more every time I see it, the 6 of Swords. It shows that you're being guided by a divine hand into calmer waters. And yay, another communication card. So the 2 of Cups represents partnership, but whenever I get the 2 of Cups, it's almost always proceeding a message from the spirit world. In this case, it might mean that the message from the spirit world is coming to a close, and here's their punctuation mark. 7 of Swords. Okay, so if I had to guess, without looking at the cards and the words on them right away, the Ace of Wands and the Ace of Pentacles tell me you're right at the beginning of something with a lot of magic that has to do with the currency of your desire, and it could be money. But we will look at the cards more carefully in a minute. But you're at the start of something really great here. You're at the top of your game. Okay, you have support from not just the spirit world, but also from the 3D world and education and the institutions that are on Earth that we all recognize and see with our eyeballs. And that's real justice when you have the balance between the spirit world and the material world. It feels like the justice card even does say balance on it, I think. But we'll look at it in a minute. And, how about that? So I bet that someday you might hear a message that, that whole time, you were being guided to calmer waters. That was really your spirit guides, in constant communication with you. They never left your side. They were hiding the whole time. Anyway, that sounds like a fun story. And now let's see what the words say on the card. Maybe that'll give Sonia another look. The Ace of Wands, new project, inspiration, urge to create, willpower, desire, power, potential beginnings, new opportunities, and growth. The Ace of Pentacles, abundance, manifestation, opportunity, new career or financial opportunity, new venture, and prosperity. The 3 of Pentacles, teamwork, collaboration, learning, implementation, and building something. The Hierophant, institutions, tradition, religion, society and its rules, social approval, conformity, forgiveness, bonded, mercy, wisdom, and trust. And the Justice card, justice, fairness, balance, truth, clarity, equality, cause and effect, law. It reminds me of the Native Americans whom they said lived in balance with nature. But you seem to be living in balance with multiple dimensions. The Six of Swords, transition, challenge, leaving behind, releasing. Well, excuse me, they should put these together. Transition, change, leaving behind, releasing baggage, moving on. Two of Cups, unified love, partnership, mutual attraction, proposal, marriage, connection. And Seven of Swords, betrayal, deception, getting away with something strategically, and trickery. I'm saying that maybe the spirit world is patting themselves on the back. They were acting strategically and staying hidden the whole time while they were helping you. Anyway, that was a fun reading, Sonia. I hope it was fun for you too. Thank you very much. Good luck.
Oh, that was amazing. I hope it resonated with you, Sonia. And let me see here. So, Jenna said, "Wow," about her reading, and everybody was like really liking these readings. Sonia said, "Thank you."
Great.
Sonia said, "Wow." She said, "Yes." She said, "Thank you again." Everybody's agreeing with you on these. Like,
I'm gratified to hear it. I'm glad that these messages are well received, and I think it's a team effort. Because we're all pooling our mental and consciousness resources together so that people get.
Jason. Oh, sorry. I didn't mean to interrupt you. I got excited about something, but go ahead. Sorry, finish your thought, Ray. I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to do that. I'm
not upset at all, Rob. I think I finished my thought. I'm not sure I could recover it if I wanted to. I'm gonna have to go back and watch the video.
No. So Jason came up with the idea. He said if everybody left a review on either Spotify or Apple Podcasts, that could go a long way. It really could, because if the more reviews you get, the more it ups your podcast. So if you guys listen to the show on Spotify or Apple Podcasts, which actually supports the podcast too, because it's free to do, but there's ads on there, so it helps me. Obviously. So if you leave a review, that could definitely help. For sure. But sorry, Ray. Yeah, that doesn't.
Rob's only number 83 on the Apple whatever that is, the Apple Podcast thing. That's only 83 in education. And I would like to remind everybody, this is a testimonial from an experienced professional. I was a classroom teacher. I have multiple college degrees and teaching credentials. And I'm telling you, I never learned so much as I learned when I watched the Typical Skeptic podcast, where he has great guest speakers come in and tell us things that were either hidden from us for centuries and millennia, or stuff that's brand new and we need to know about it right now. So yeah, let's leave him some comments on the Apple Podcast. Get him up in there in the top 20. That's where he belongs.
That'd be amazing. I would love that. That would be a real feat if I could get up there. That would be awesome. I'm trying to also get featured on the Spreaker front page. I asked them what I need to do that. I can't remember what they said, but they said I could submit but I wanted to show you this. This is from Brooke Collings, Ray. She says, that was great. She says, thanks for your time, Ray, and your contribution to humanity.
You're wrong. Sorry, not you're wrong. You're welcome is what I meant to say. Do we do a reading for Brooke Collings tonight?
I don't think we have, but I think she was just meant she's just meant in general. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
She's just giving you props.
Maybe for my testimonial just now. Yeah, you're very welcome, Brooke. Thanks a lot. I appreciate it. Yeah, well, Rob deserves it. We're all here to help.
No, she's talking about your readings. She's giving you props for your readings. You know what I mean? Because you're doing this is amazing, Ray. You're doing really good.
I really, really do appreciate it. All these comments that your people in the chat leave, and everything that you say, Rob. It really sticks with me. Until the next time I'm on your show, I'm all wow, that was really good that they said that. It really lifts my spirits and it helps keep me going. So I do appreciate that, Brooke. Thank you very much. I don't pay attention to the chat while I'm on the show, but I do go back and watch it with the chat, and I love it. It's a lot of fun.
You know what? We have 4th of July coming up. If you want to do the 4th of July,
Yeah. Well, Rob, I think I already put that on my calendar. So yeah, I'm preparing to come on your show July 4th.
Oh wait, yeah. I have it. I have it on my calendar. Sorry. Yeah. That's cool. We could probably do 8 p.m. or if you want to do later, we can. I don't know. Yeah.
You can let me know when you're ready. That's fine. I know I'm going to a party on July 4th, but I think last year I went after the podcast, because I went after the podcast and all my friends are all, what were you talking about on the podcast? What's a med bed? So
That's hilarious. That's so funny.
And in case we have any mutual fans out there, July 4th is the anniversary of my first appearance on Rob's show, and I already sent Rob an anniversary gift today. So it will be 1 year of me hanging out with Rob on the holidays on July 4th.
Yeah, thanks, Ray. Too. I didn't want to say anything publicly, but thank you so much. I appreciate that. It was really nice of you.
Well, you're welcome. It's a gift for me too, because I enjoy it when you're down there. And actually, I'm looking forward to. I don't know if you're going to take a plane or if you're going to drive, but I'm looking forward to the drive back. I want to see how many people are going to sit with you in the car while you broadcast from a car on your way back to Pennsylvania.
I think I might be going with Gina Virginia Casella. Like I might be driving down with her.
Former teacher, yeah, that's a nice lady. All right, am I doing any readings? Am I doing a reading for Brooke, baby?
Brooke, do you want a reading? It is raining here, Ray, so I'm not going to be able to go for my walk for a while. So, unless I use my treadmill, but I mean, I like going outside. But no, Brooke, do you want a reading or let's see here. It's not just raining; it's pouring. It's like dumping huge amounts of water.
I like to hike, and so when it rains like that for me, that's like a little variety for me. I kind of like that. But I can understand if it's like every day, it may not be the same thing.
Yeah.
So I could switch back to the regular camera until we get someone to read.
You don't owe me anything, Brooke. You don't owe me anything. It's okay. I owe you a podcast, Brooke. Like Brooke was saying, she says, "Sure, I'll owe it to you. Put it on my tab." I said, you don't have to donate. You're not obligated to donate. You're perfectly fine. Me and Brooke were supposed to do a podcast together, and then we weren't able to get it scheduled or whatever. But I mean, we had it scheduled, but things came. I don't know, but we're gonna do it. We're gonna do it eventually. Brooke would like a reading, and
sure.
Thank you. Right, this is awesome.
It's wonderful. I'm having a great time. And I'm admiring Brooke's T-shirt. It looks like that design you see with the tree of life, that little pattern. I'm not sure.
Yeah. Let me see. Yeah. That is the flower of life. That's exactly what that is. I think. Yeah.
Cool.
Is that what that is, Brooke? Is that the flower of life on your shirt?
Because look, I've got something similar to it. This is a coaster, but it's also orgonite, and it's got the copper.
Oh, look, I have one too.
Yeah,
check this out, Ray. It's orgonite. And it's the flower of life.
Oh, nice, sweet.
Yeah. Karen Holton gave me that one. Yeah, I love orgonite.
Yeah, I love orgonite.
I have a pyramid too. I don't know what happened to my pyramid. I don't know what the hell happened to that. I had an orgonite pyramid here. Now that I think about it, I thought I put it by the router so it would take away the the EMF, but I don't know what happened to that. That's crazy. It just disappeared like that.
Yeah, it'll turn up. All right. Yeah. So let's take a look and see if there's a story for Brooke. It had to start off with the Three of Swords, a little bit of heartbreak. I'm sorry to say. I could be wrong. This is all for entertainment purposes only. Hey, Rob, is that a picture of you? It's the Hierophant again.
Oh, my God.
Right.
It's coming up.
Yeah. Are we getting the message, everybody? We're going to leave a comment on Apple Tunes to move Rob up in that order. Okay. And now, let's see the second paragraph. All right. The King of Pentacles is back. All right. This is a beautiful card that I'm still learning a lot about. Temperance. And, right next to Temperance is the Tower. These guys are going to be right next to each other. The only thing that's missing is that the Devil is number 15. He's in between them. All right. And now let's go to the last paragraph. Oh, another king, the King of Cups. He's diplomatic. Whoops. This is the Eight of Cups. This guy's walking away from a situation. He's got all the cups there, even though it looks like there's something missing. It's still an energy of walking away. But you walk away and you make some more magic. You manifest something new. Da-da-da-da-da-da. Knight of Swords, charge. All right. So, again, um, uh, there's some pain, and maybe it was brought about from institutions or some kind of heartbreak involved with someone really respected in society or an institution. This could be as lame as like being on hold with a government office for 35 minutes. That can be annoying too, right? You're trying to reach someone of import and you can't get through. It can be frustrating. I'm not saying that's the situation. I'm just trying to write a story here. The King of Pentacles, he's got a lot of money, but you're not going to blow all that cash like some NBA player who doesn't know how to handle his money. Okay, you're going to be balanced about it. You're going to take it easy, and you're going to be measured about how you handle your finances or whatever this currency is. But at the same time, there's going to be a big change in how there's going to be a big change. That's what the Tower card says. The world comes tumbling down. But look, the world comes tumbling down, and all is not lost. It looks like with the Eight of Cups that there's something missing, right? But no, remember, you're the King of Cups. You're the king. You got all the cups. You may have lost some cups, but you really didn't lose any cups. You're the king. And now you take what you have left over, which is basically your consciousness, and then you manifest something new. Full speed ahead. Let's take a look at the cards. The Three of Swords, heartbreak, suffering, grief, emotional pain, sorrow, hurt, divorce, loss, and depression. The Hierophant, institutions, tradition, religion, society and its rules, social approval, conformity, forgiveness, bonded, mercy, wisdom, and trust. The King of Pentacles, wealth, business, leadership, security, discipline, abundance, prosperity, and generosity. Temperance, balance, harmony, moderation, patience, being sensible, purpose, finding meaning. And then despite all of that, believe me, I know how this feels. Despite all of this, it all comes crashing down with a Tower card, sudden change, upheaval, chaos, revelation, disaster, awakening, release, and sudden insight. Well, if we talk about awakening and sudden insight, just focus on those, regardless of how well we manage the material world, the spirit world can still supersedes it. Let's just put it that way. The spirit world supersedes what goes on here, which is why you hear so many stories about people who were in the business world and they had $1 million companies. And then for whatever reason, they sold everything and they said, I'm reading crystal ball now. I'm doing tarot readings, for example. The spirit world calls to them. Anyway, last paragraph. So you're the King of Cups now. You're emotionally balanced. You have compassion. You're diplomatic. You have control. You're a supportive leader. You're tolerant, and you're empathic. Despite the Eight of Cups saying there's disappointment and abandonment and withdrawal, escapism, walking away and leaving behind. Well, maybe you had to leave behind whatever this good thing was when this change happened, and you still made good. You're still the King of Cups. You still have all your magic powers. The Magician says action, creation, manifestation, power, self-confidence, clarity, willpower, skill, and creativity. And the energetic Knight of Swords says ambitious, action-oriented, driven to succeed, fast thinking, defending beliefs. From my point of view, because of where I am, it feels like maybe you're about to launch and start a new career, or maybe like myself, you're starting a new podcast. But whatever it is, the Tower card tells me there's some kind of change. In any case, the story looks like a nice story to me, Brooke. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope it was at least entertaining. Thank you very much, Brooke.
I love that. I think that's it for tonight. I don't know.
All right. Well, I can always go back to the tarot cam if somebody wants one before I go.
Yeah, this is amazing though, right? This is really cool. I really enjoyed this.
I'm glad. I always have a good time when I come on your show. Thank you so much, Rob. So, I don't know if you're in a hurry, but I was wondering if you wanted to talk a little bit, because I know you watched the video I did with Psychic Liz Cross called Target Karma at Star Card Podcast.
Yeah, that is amazing. It was an amazing conversation. Yeah.
Now, I know you saw it a while back. and I don't know what you remember, but I was just wondering, like, if you had a question or an insight, or was there something that stuck with you? Because I know you appreciated it, but it was an hour-long thing. Was there anything in particular that sticks out?
I loved how you were able to get like really deep and personal with Liz Cross, and I hadn't heard your complete story yet, so it was good to hear like your story and like what the stuff you went through with like the school and all that stuff, and like like with this teacher trying to bother you, and like it was kind of like I felt really bad, like I was like, man, that really sucks. Like yeah, like so.
I appreciate you saying that, Rob. I appreciate that very much. So this goes back to our friend Kelly from the beginning of our meeting tonight. She bought the book. She's going to read the first interview I did with Psychic Liz Cross. And then if you go to the star card, you'll see I guess that's the third one I did. And it tells more of the story, obviously, than it does in the book. But I'm glad you mentioned this, because what I wanted to share, you've had Rebecca Rose on your show, and you've been on her show. I really enjoyed that show you did with her on her podcast. And Rebecca Rose, her life here on Earth was not fun. There are parts of it that are despicable and almost too terrible to repeat. And a lot of secret space program people have stories like this, I'm sorry to say. And then we always hear the story about why would you choose to come to Earth to do this? And I mentioned this before. She is somehow able to rise up way above, maybe it's fourth dimension, fifth dimension, but she's able to look way above and say, if I didn't come down and do this, I was not going to be able to tell everybody about it. And everyone would still be doing this stuff because no one would know what's going on, So she's said, in a way, I'm coming down like the Trojan horse, I'm a plant. And eventually, I'm going to turn around and I'm going to tell everybody about it. She's not the only one doing this. She's not the only whistleblower. So in my own personal case, it shows that, this wasn't just a 3D battle. It wasn't just a battle in the staff room, as it were. Whoever this person is, this person thinks that we've had previous lives together and that I've done that person wrong. There was a suicide involved in a previous life, according to her. And, when you talk about things like that, it just shows how dangerous the situation still is. I may not be at that school anymore, but, when you're talking about taking people's lives or putting people on the street or putting people in jail under false pretenses, this person's still out there and she's still dangerous as far as I'm concerned. But it's not just, here on Earth's surface, right? According to the interview we had with Psychic Liz Cross, that was a plan. Now, for like a couple of weeks, I didn't like that. I didn't like that I agreed, to do this, to have this happen to me. It didn't sound cool. But again, if it didn't happen to me, I don't think I would have met Rob Khalil. I don't think I would have been on his show. I would never have learned how to do tarot. I would not have had, other psychics tell me things to illuminate my path forward. So it's almost like I said, it's almost like I said, I'm going to play kickball with these second graders, and I'm going to let them, catch the ball and get me out and throw the ball at me or whatever. But I'm still a full-grown adult playing against, second graders, and I want them to do that. So, for whatever reason, for whatever purpose, so we all have fun. And you could say that, I agreed to this just so that she could, help send me on my way. I'm not saying I want to do any more lifetimes with this person anymore, but I'm capitalizing on it. I'm turning it into a positive. I could not have started this new life if that old world was still going on. Anyway, I feel like I spoke enough on that subject. I appreciate, again, on this podcast, Rob, you are a home and a welcome place and a safe haven for targeted individuals. And I know, because you watched the interview, that there was some targeting going on, and probably it was like demonic. She had like no control over it, unfortunately. Anyway, way too much to say.
No. Hey, Ray, it's okay. Talk about it. It's interesting. Like, tell us about it. Tell us what happened. Seriously.
Well, I meant that I really had spoken enough about it, but I don't like speaking off the cuff. I like preparing my speeches, but that's why, like, when I wrote the book, the words that came out were from the psychics. Psychic Duck said this. Psychic Liz Cross said this. Sean Baum was telling me the same thing. Other psychics are all telling me the same thing. Ray, you're in a workplace bullying situation. It's really weird. They're like rerouting your audience. They're saying, you like to sing, you like to play, you like to have fun. And they're saying, why does he like to do that? And a lot of it had to do with jealousy. because they wanted to be the star of the staff or whatever. I wasn't taking anything away from them. I'm just doing my job. What I like is that like for years, it really went on for years, every single obstacle you can imagine was thrown at me. I'm sure like when you're driving in the car with Gina Virginia Casella, she could tell you about some of the crazy stuff that goes on. But, I would have things taken away. I would have things stolen. And I mean, that was like small potatoes compared to what happened at the end. But no matter what, even though all these obstacles were constantly thrown at me, I still came out like my test scores were always awesome. The kids I work with, by and large, were very happy and very happy that we had the year together. And, they couldn't knock me down is what I'm trying to say. And I feel like that's kind of like what I share when I come on your show. We can't worry about, what some haters, some trolls are going to do to us, even if they're 4D trolls and they're messing with us from the spirit world. We came down here for a reason. We got an army behind us. You got a spiritual army, Rob, and you got an army of subscribers. We're all with you. Our consciousness is with you. So, we're here for a purpose. We're raising cosmic consciousness, and we can't let anybody get us down. This is what we're here for. Anyway,
I agree.
Thinking off the cuff again. So
that was great. I guess we'll leave it there. Yeah, that was amazing. And thank you, Ray. And this is an amazing show tonight. This was really good. And let me see if anybody in the audience has any questions for you.
All right.
I think that's it. Anchor Haven wants to know, what's the name of your book called? It's the Convoluted Autobiography, Anchor Haven.
Yeah. I don't know if it's in the link, but I now that I have her email address, I can send her a link. This is the there we go. Thanks, Jason. What a cool dude. This is the Convoluted Autobiography. And anyway, quite a few pages. If you buy it and you read it, start with the epilogue. It gives you a good overview about the whole book. And then the whole book shows about, I'm going through life. I'm being psychic and I have no idea. I'm remote viewing stuff in my aunt's refrigerator, in Connecticut from California. I had no idea what I was doing. I thought I was remembering things differently. But then eventually I figure out, that I got something going on, and I know I'm not the only one. Everyone on this podcast is telepathic. Our children should be telepathic. We don't even teach about telepathy in elementary school. It's a shame. Anyway, I could go on. We got to save it for another podcast. Save it for my podcast, because we talk about the world of education on Star Card podcast also. Hey, I'm really ringing up the minutes here, Rob. I know we're having a good time, but yeah, you're about to exit, but I'm happy to stay as long as you want.
This is great. We already did an hour and 42 minutes. I think that's good for today, because we're going to be back on the 4th and we can touch on stuff then. And if people want to hear more of you, they can go over to your podcast and you guys, please subscribe to Ray's, please go subscribe to Ray's channel, and get a copy of his book. He's an amazing person, West Coast Patriot Girl says, I was super late. I'll have to go back and rewatch. Seemed like a great show. Yeah, it was a great show. It was really good. West Coast, All
right.
So yeah, I'm glad you guys enjoy it. And is there anything else you'd like to share? Anything else you want to say before we finish up, Ray?
Rob, I can't wait to come back on the show on July 4th. I know August is slim pickings for holidays, but Labor Day is at the end of that month. And also there's August 15th, which is the Roman Catholic holiday of the Assumption. We could talk more about that later, but I'm just letting you know, I can't wait till July 4th. And we probably have like 2 times we could pick out in August. And then we're back into the regular holiday season with, Halloween around the corner, spending the holidays with Rob Khalil and your Typical Skeptic podcast. It's awesome. It's a dream come true. Love it. Thank you.
That's awesome. Well, thank you everybody for tuning in tonight, and have a good night. And Jason said you can come on for his birthday. We could do that. Would you tell us when your birthday is, Jason?
Yeah. Let us know. Cool. All right, Rob.
Yeah, that'd be good. All right. We'll go. And all right, everybody. Thanks a lot. And until next time, guys, take care.
Thank you so much, Rob. Good night, everybody. Thank you.